Kia ora koutou. This video is to show applicants to Waikato Regional Council's Small Scale Community Initiatives Fund, or SCIF, how to complete an application form in SmartyGrants. To begin, on the Waikato Regional Council SCIF webpage, when the fund is open, there will be an Apply Now button like this one that will take you to a website called SmartyGrants, which is the platform we use to run our 3 contestable funds. Once you've clicked on the Apply Now button, it will open the starting page for the relevant application that you will be completing. For the purpose of this video, we are using a test round. Click on the Login button at the top of the screen to access your account. If you do not already have a SmartyGrants account, click Register here to create one. If you do have an account, fill out your details to log in. Logging in will take you to Waikato Regional Council's landing page for all of our funds that are run through SmartyGrants. While the fund is open, it will sit here under Current Rounds. Click on the Small Scale Community Initiatives Fund round to open the starting page for that round. Here I will open the test round so that we can go through the application form. You will again be brought to the starting page for the round that you are applying for, where you can select Fill Out Now, Preview the Form, or Download Preview Form. We recommend reading the form through before starting your application so that you know everything that is required for the application and can allocate enough time to complete it. Ensure that you read all of the Before You Begin information, then select Fill Out Now. This page confirms that you have created an application and tells you the number of your submission. In bold here, it states that you may be logged out automatically after 20 minutes if you don't save, which will cause you to lose any unsaved work. We cannot recover applications that are lost because they weren't saved, so please save your progress regularly. Continue to the next page to start your application. The Save Progress button is at the top and bottom of each page. Please use this liberally, and we recommend doing the application on a desktop computer or laptop rather than a smartphone or tablet, as it is far easier to navigate the form and see your responses on a larger screen. This first page of your application form goes through what the fund is for and the limitations around who can apply and what you can apply for. Please read this carefully. If you are ineligible, your application will not be assessed. Next is the applicant information. This is where you fill out the information about yourself if you are applying as an individual, or your group if you are applying on behalf of your conservation group. If your group doesn't have a bank account, you must apply as an individual. This is because the bank details for your application must match those of the applicant. Select your applicant type, and as you may have noticed on the previous page, there are a wider range of organisations that can apply, such as educational facilities and businesses, which are not included here. If you are applying as one of these, select Other and fill in what type of applicant you are. Continue completing your information, and you will notice at the bottom here there are 2 types of contact details. The first is the applicant contact. This is the person that we will contact about this application. The second is the project contact, and that is who we would contact if your application was successful. The third page is for your financial information. This is where you can enter your GST number if you are GST registered, and it is also where you must enter your bank account details. It is important that your bank account name matches the applicant for this application. You must then upload proof of your bank account here. There are a few types of documentation that are accepted. These include a pre-printed bank deposit slip, a bank statement showing the account name and number, which must be dated within the last year, certified bank details, stamped and signed by a bank teller, also dated within the last year. Screenshots of an internet banking web page are not accepted. However, you can download an official online banking statement in PDF format, which is accepted. A reminder about navigating through the pages of the form: you can use the previous page and next page buttons, which are at the top and bottom of each page. You can also use this form navigation sidebar to jump to a specific page that you need. So this page is where you enter information about the project for which you're applying for funding. These first few questions are straightforward about your project. Then the next section is the activities table. This is where you state what pests you will be controlling and what methods you will use to control them. Please put each control method on a different line. You can adjust the size of the text boxes while you're writing in them. If you hover your cursor over the diagonal lines in the corner of the text box, it will turn into a double-ended arrow. You can then click and drag to resize the text box. Alternatively, you can click Maximize in the corner here, which pops the table out and expands it. Then click Minimize when you're finished. If you need to add more rows, click Add More. If you want to remove a row, click the minus button of the relevant row. This section is where you enter what you hope to achieve with your project. In the first column, you write the outcomes that will result from your project. In the second column, you select from the two options that are WRC's outcomes. They are both here under biodiversity and biosecurity. The two options for SCIF are improved native biodiversity and increased community participation. You must select at least one outcome for improved native biodiversity. For example, if your outcome was to have increased bird life, the WRC outcome that would align with that would be improved native biodiversity. For more volunteers, the outcome would be increased community participation. As with the previous table, you can maximize the text boxes, add more rows, remove rows, and maximize the table. This third table is for measuring outcomes. Here we would like you to tell us how you would measure progress towards your outcomes, which you would then be able to report on. These are things like your rat catches, your RTI, how much area you have under pest plant control, and so on. In the first column, you select which of WRC's measures you will be able to track and report on. You can see here that increased community participation is grayed out and you are unable to select it. To have the option to select one of the increased community participation measures, you must have selected it as an outcome in the previous table. Once you've clicked on the outcome, a list of measures will appear. As you scroll over the different measures, some have information about what they are. The second column is for your collection method. This is how you will obtain the data relating to the measure you have selected. For many of the measures for SCIF, TrappNZ will be sufficient to track your data. Next is your project location. In this location address text box here, start typing an address and then select it from the list. If you are working over multiple properties, select one address to enter in the map. Enter your property valuation number. If you don't know your property valuation number, you can use the council's rates calculator to find it. In some instances, your project may be on land that doesn't have a valuation number, for example, because it is Department of Conservation land. In those instances, please enter NA and the reason. Continue to complete the rest of the page as appropriate. The final question on this page is whether you are the owner of the property, or properties where the project is taking place. You must only select yes if you are the owner of all the properties in the area where your project will be undertaking work. If you select no, then you must upload signed landowner permissions for each property. If you have a number of landowners and you would like a template for this, please email smallscalefund@waikatoregion.govt.nz. This next page is for your project budget. Please read everything carefully to ensure that you are filling in the tables correctly. The first table is for your contracted services, for which you can apply for up to $1,000. In the first column, write the type of contractor service for which you are applying, for example, herbicide application. The second column is for the hours that will be spent on this, and the third column is for the cost per hour for the service. The fourth column will calculate automatically, and the final column is where you attach your quote. You must include a quote or you will not be able to receive funding for the services. For a quote to be valid, it must be from within the last 6 months. As with the other tables, if you'd like to add additional rows, click Add More, and you can maximize the table if you need. If the amount you have entered is more than $1,000, the form may not tell you until you navigate away and then back to the page, but you will get a warning that the response is more than the maximum once you are at the review page and you won't be able to submit your application. Next is the materials table. Please enter each item on a separate line and also have your shipping costs separated out. If you have a quote for multiple items from one supplier, you can upload the quote once if you prefer, or you can upload it at each row. For example, if these 2 items and the shipping were all from the same supplier, I could attach the quote on this first row, or I could add the same quote to each row so that I could visually see that it has been uploaded for each item. Either option is fine so long as each item in the table in SmartyGrants is on its own row and each item that is in the table has a relevant quote attached. Your total requested amounts will be automatically calculated at the bottom of the page. Again, if this is over the maximum amount, it may not warn you at this stage, but it will on the review page as you can't submit the form until it is corrected. The final page of the form is the declaration page. Please read everything carefully and complete the declaration. If you haven't filled out a section of the form that is mandatory, you will get a warning message in red like these ones. They won't disappear immediately after you've filled in your response, but they will once you navigate to another page. Finally, we have a review of the completed form, which has each of the pages that you have filled out. As I have not been completing this as I go, my review is filled with red warning messages that a response is required. You can click on these Go to Page buttons to directly go to the page where you are missing information, or you can use the navigation sidebar at the top of the page. Once everything has been completed, you have attached all the required documentation, and you are happy with your application, click Submit. You will be taken to this page that tells you that your submission has been received. You will have also been sent a copy of your submission to your email address. If you haven't received this, please check your spam folder, and if it is still not there, please get in touch. If you have saved your application previously and want to return to it, first log into SmartyGrants to see the Waikato Regional Council landing page for the contestable funds. At the top of the SmartyGrants page, click My Submissions. Here it will show any of the submissions that you have completed or started. You can see there is one that has already been submitted, which cannot be edited. However, the top application, which says In Progress, is one that we are still able to update and work on to submit later. Click on the application number. This box will appear. Then click on the name of the application form, and this will take you to your application form, which you can continue to complete. A final piece of advice for applying to the Small Scale Community Initiatives Fund: give yourself plenty of time to complete your application, so start early. This way, if you come across anything that you have questions about, you can get in touch with us. You can email skif@waikatoregion.govt.nz or phone 0800 800 401. Ngā mihi nui.